If you have disease in your body, there is programming to be released from every single cell inside of you. How can I say that? Healing is actually the process of releasing the structure, the program, the paradigms that we find ourselves in from our cellular body. So when we heal, we're taking a look at what's in our cells. Remember this, our cells behave how according to our thoughts, our thinking, and the signals that are being sent. So in epigenetics, a cell is a receptor and it's receiving a chemical, a hormone, and what controls the chemicals and the hormones? Our thoughts, okay? So our thoughts create either a chemical or hormone. They change the chemistry of our blood, and the chemistry of our blood controls our cells. So when we're healing, we're changing our thoughts. If we have disease in our body, how can I say that there's programming in every cell? Well, let's take a couple of examples. Tonight I'm going to get into my dad's story. I know that I've been sharing a lot about my dad's healing journey, and there's been a ton of questions coming in, so I've jotted some of them down, and I'm going to share them with you guys. But hang on for just a second. This is really, really important to understand before I get into what's going on with my dad and how you can help your loved ones with dementia, Parkinson's, aging, ulcerative colitis, type 1 diabetes, autoimmune. We've got it all going on in our family, so I'm going to help you. But hang on to this really quick. If you have disease in your body, there's programming. And what can that programming be? Okay, we're going to talk a lot about this with my dad, that we believe, usually not most of us listening to this, but we believe that there's only one way, that conventional medicine has all the answers, that functional medicine has all the answers, that we're not really following our resonance, we're following a program or a paradigm. We're not listening to our truth, we're listening to this pre-established truth that has been laid out in front of us. Second way, fear-based functional medicine. Oh my goodness. I will not get on my soapbox about this tonight, but there are so many experts and functional medicine practitioners and doctors on the internet that are teaching you ludicrous things like avoiding fruit, avoiding goitrogens, it's crazy. Avoiding spirituality when it comes to your healing. It's crazy talk. And we have to get away from that. So a couple of paradigms. Western medicine's the only way, fear-based functional medicine, or the most important, and I see this all the time, people have done all the nutritional therapy and they've shifted their body and gone through functional medicine programs or this healthy physical balance, but their energy field is destroying them. So for example, they are chronically ill, but really, really well, and they have a program in their head that they still have to be this varsity athlete for their dad's approval. So they're killing it in the gym beyond what their body is asking them to do. 2, 3, 4 days a week might be good for them, but they're 5, 6, 7 days a week, maybe multiple times a day, and living off of a schedule and stimulants that are wrecking them. Makes sense? So if we have disease in our body, then we still have structure, we still have programming in every cell. So if you're dealing with symptoms, really your root cause is what that structure, that programming, that energy in your body. And as you heal one thing, you'll see another thing come up. And it's a continual healing journey. Okay, so my dad. What has been going on with my dad? Let me make the intro story short because I think a lot of you have been following this. And then we can get into how we can help your family. And then of course we'll do a healing, a group healing, or if someone wants to come on and receive intuitive healing from the group, we can help, and of course myself. So my dad, his health has never been great. I'm an offspring of my father and have had just as many autoimmune, but more conditions than he has. I got well, and he was still in the old paradigm. My dad's a doctor of veterinary medicine. He has a separate master's degree in dairy cattle science. Super nerd, very, very smart. Yet his body's been crippled with tons of disease, and he's science-minded. So he sees me get well. And most of you, the questions that I've written down that I'm going to read off of is how do I help my family? So I've been wanting to help my dad for years. My mom's on her healing journey, my sister's on her healing journey, and they've made great strides and they're really bought in, but then there's my dad, right? And it was about 6 weeks ago that he had a major health event that sent him to the hospital and started this change. I cannot tell you, one, the hospital did nothing for him, and he says that, and for him to say that is like pretty big. They did nothing for him, and it was the biggest and best blessing that could have happened. We went to his endocrinologist on Friday together, my mom, my dad, and myself, and the endocrinologist looked at him and said, whatever you're doing is working. And he was like, it's what she's doing. And this isn't about me, because there's plenty of other practitioners out there that could have done the same thing for my dad. But why did my dad start his healing journey now? Like, what shifted? Well, that's God's business. But I've always been here, and I've always been a consistent energy and an example for him. So 3 weeks ago, he was at his endocrinologist, and his memory was horrible. He couldn't stand up with falling. I mean, he was classic Parkinson's. Like, he'd stand up and he would fall back. He was shuffling his feet, his hands, and Parkinson's is lots of this with the hands, tremoring, and it wasn't looking good. I was on the call at that time, and they were kind of talking to him like he was a little kid. And then this Friday, they started to address him like an adult again. And they were like, whatever you're doing is working. And the diabetes educator that joined us, she was amazing and super helpful. She is like a gem in the Western medicine world. And she told my dad, Burger King, McDonald's, that is a death sentence. And he's come from, it's really interesting to watch the really, really deep programming and paradigms that he's come from, right? And that I've come from. And you almost forget how far you've come until you're watching someone in front of you heal. So how do I help my dad with Parkinson's? I've had probably 4 or 5 of you send a message and say, my dad has this. You're saying that his symptoms are leaving the body. The number one thing is you have to be on your own healing journey. Someone as intelligent and strong-willed as my dad would not, if I didn't have the science and I didn't have the example, he wouldn't give me the time of day. He was desperate, and just the way that the universe had it laid out, I happened to be the person there to be able to help him. And I can tell you, if I wasn't doing these things that I'm asking him to do, and I see this with my clients all the time, there's no way he would have done it. So another client wrote in and she sent me a message. She was like, I'm just too tired. Like, did you start with the morning routine? I've been trying to make him extra celery juice, and then I'm fatigued. I'm in bed. You have to heal and take care of yourself first. And honestly, I don't think that I was to the emotional healing point until now to be able to help my dad, because, and I still get, I tell Jeff, I'm like, man, I'm in my trauma, right? When I'm caught up in it, because I want him to heal so bad that, like, sometimes my brain's not all here. I'm real busy. I'm moving. I'm doing all these things for him. I'll do anything for him. And I will, because now he finally wants to heal. But I have to check myself and get in alignment and be like, what am I doing that's out of alignment? Am I in alignment? Am I, what, we have to check ourselves. So how do we help someone in our family? What you want them to do, you have to be doing, or doing really closely, or have done it. Think about it like from a parenting point of view, or if you don't have kids, when you were a kid and your parents were telling you to do something, did you want to do it unless they were leading by example? You didn't. So when it comes to our families, you have to be the example. And honestly, that is really the success model behind my businesses. I'm living this life with my clients, and I would never go back because of what it's given me. So you can start to drop your questions below and I'll go through them as they come in. Okay. So what have we been doing to heal Parkinson's? My dad's come from a place of like severe depression, laying in bed, not remembering like little things. His blood sugars, he's type 1 diabetic, so that's autoimmune and viral in nature. You're not going to come across that in most realms of thought, but you can trace my dad's history and mine, and you see Epstein-Barr into the body, you see other herpetic viruses, you see extreme loads of strep, you see antibiotics on board, you see antivirals, you see immune suppressant drugs, you see it's in the mitochondria, it's a wasteland in there, and our bodies get toxic and they get sick. On Friday at the doctor, the nurse practitioner read the CT scan to my dad, and there's cortical atrophy And he's like, oh, I could just see, he's so cute. He's just like so upset. Right? But even, she's a gem. She was like, it doesn't mean this is your diagnosis. It's saying this is what's going on. So he's type 1 diabetic, and his blood sugars over, gosh, I'd say the last 3 to 4 years have been like highs to lows. So your blood sugar should be like around 80 fasting, and then if you're eating like 100, 120, 160, 180, once you get over 200, it's kind of a mess. But for a type 1 diabetic, anywhere from 100 to 200 is a good range to be fluctuating, ebb and flow. He's been 40s to almost 400, like up and down, up and down. So that glucose hasn't been making its way to the brain. So he has some cortical atrophy going on, and heavy metals from all the pharmaceuticals. And he's, when we're in victim mindset, when we're in victimhood about our health, where it's game over. And watching just the subtle shift, again, he comes from, just on Christmas, I was talking to him about this woman he's really familiar with Lyme disease and tick-borne illnesses, we'll call them. They're not from ticks. And he's exhibiting neurological Lyme. And just over Christmas, he was like, you're an idiot if you don't treat Lyme disease with doxycycline, right? And here he is, like, he was telling his, the nurse practitioner, at the endocrinologist, he's like, I just can't believe Western medicine is failing me. That's what he's saying. And they don't really have the answers for him. They told him, you probably have to be on a little bit of a statin your whole life. So what's shifting? Energetically, the world is in a big worldwide shakeup. And then here's an energy force, and you all can be that to your family. You can be the example, and then you can be the driving force. I have been tired in a good way from driving this forward with my family. Okay. Yes, I'm going to post this to my YouTube. So let's go through the protocol of what we've been doing. So when he first came to my office, he was like, I'll do anything. And he's had these points. You might notice loved ones in the healing journey, they'll be like, I'll do it. And then they don't. And then you get your heart broke. So you have to watch your boundaries of, you can only give what your body is allowing you to give. And then you have to just say, okay, that's what I have to give. So he comes to my office. We went over his blood work. And I will say, though, I had the most swarming and overwhelming load of angel numbers that I've ever had. I had a lot when I started my business in functional medicine and left my job. And then the most I've ever seen was helping my dad, because I was working on his workup over the weekend. And I told Jeff, I was like, I don't even want to do this, because what if he doesn't show up? Because that would have been something in the past that would have happened. He just would have said, nah, I'm not going. It's not going to help. Because again, that programming, our cells, our cells contain this programming. They contain this paradigm. They contain these limiting beliefs. It's an energy stuck in our cells, and our cells crave homeostasis. So when we go to make a change, our cells revolt against us. So he shows up in my office. We go over the blood work. I tell him everything that's going on, and he's listening. Now, the first couple weeks, and even a little bit, his memory is still not 100%. He's not 100%. It's only been almost 5 weeks. But, I've retaught him the same things a couple times the first couple weeks, because he just didn't remember. So where did we start? I started with helping him understand his body instead of telling him what to do. Because you never have to tell anyone what to do if they can understand their body. And we're all smart people. Like, we want to learn. We want to know. Sometimes the programming is too thick and you can't get through it right away. And you just have to stand in your truth and be an example. And that's what's happened over, the last 6 years with my dad as I've healed. Christmas of this last year, he's like, you're an idiot for practicing medicine. And he says that, with his like dad love, I guess. But that programming is thick, right? So I helped him understand his body. Lights start to turn on. He starts to get curious. And then I told him, okay, here's what's going on in your body. Ulcerative colitis, pathogen in the colon wall, type 1 diabetes. We're never going to get you off of insulin because your pancreas no longer produces insulin. Those beta cells have been destroyed. But gosh dang it, you don't want to be on a roller coaster anymore. That's part of your memory. That's part of your brain fog. High viral load. His CRP was 9, right? So helping him understand his body, and the biggest thing for people is to understand their body's not attacking itself, and their body is not to blame, because the body's always working for us every single time. From there, it was like, okay, just asking questions. Would you be willing to do this? No. Yes. Would you be willing to do this? So we started really small, and it was just the nature of the circumstances that he was willing to just completely go all in with his diet. Most clients, most people, including myself, I had to start really small, one thing in a day. So my dad was willing to do the celery juice. He's willing to change up his diet. Now we've gone more extreme. We've gone not low carb, not good. We've gone low fat, low protein, animal protein, plant-based. He's still eating meat. This is not an all or nothing. This is not a vegan versus paleo, none of that. Anybody who believes there's only one way, run. So, unless they're telling you to do the keto diet, I'll say anti-keto. That's my one thing. I guess unless I say this all the time, I'm not anti-keto. If you're eating McDonald's and your keto is chicken and vegetables, then I guess I'm for keto. So, asked him what he's willing to do, found what he was willing to do, and we started small, and we've built on it. So he's low fat, low animal protein, high carbohydrates from potatoes, rice, beans, squash, fruits, honey, maple syrup, healing foods. We're eating every 2 to 3 hours. He's kind of got to be reminded. And I must say, my mom, he is not, so if you're dealing with someone in the family that's Parkinson's or dementia, they need reminders and they need reinforcement. And my mother is an angel, and those of you who know her would say that she's been helping him a lot. And it's hard on her. It's so hard on her. So reminding him to eat every 2 to 3 hours, and sometimes he remembers and gets it, but he's drinking like juices and smoothies to keep his blood sugar stable. All carbohydrates. That's crazy, right? We've done infrared sauna daily, 6 days a week, working him up on the temperature. We've done ozone therapy 1 to 2 times a week. And the ozone therapy, I have it at my house, and we'll have it in the clinic here in the near future, but you can get this set up, ozone, at your house. I think you can buy different kits. We bought, in full transparency, the kit that was about $2,000, maybe a little bit over, to include everything, all the supplies, all the kits. But you could get something probably closer to $1,000 or the lower $1,000 range at your home. Message me if you want to be set up with a company. They'll give you a discount, and I have a 10% with them, and it's really helpful. So ozone 1 to 2 times a week. You can do that as a sauna. You can do it as a respiratory treatment, ear insufflation, rectal insufflation, and there's a wound kit, so you can avoid antibiotics. For my dad, what we've been doing is just the respiratory and then the ear insufflation, and he's done the steam sauna tent, but it was he's tall, like 6'2.5", and the tent is small. So he infrared saunas at home, does the ozone. He's been doing brain tap. A lot of questions about brain tap. Brain tap is just a handheld headphone device, not cheap, $650, and it comes with programs and it hooks up to your phone. But what's cool is you put these headphones on, and then this little eyeglasses come down, and they have the lights. So it's kind of like the neurofeedback, and what am I thinking of? It's not neurofeedback. It's with lights, and it kind of, I forget it. They use it in functional medicine all the time. All of this is, it's just manual energy healing. That's what it is. And he told me today, he's like, the author keeps saying to go to this safe place in my mind, and I can't get there. And so we talked through it. Okay, I'll post the replay. Don't worry, this will be up. So the brain tap, because again, the programming in the cells. I'm consciously talking to him about it, but it's in the subconscious. So if we have disease in our cells, then we have programming. So the brain tap is just helping him. He might not even notice it, because he tells my mom, I don't know if this is working. He's still who he is, right? But he's willing to heal. So the brain tap is just a device that's energy healing in a headset, because I don't really want to do it on him. you know, that's my boundary, because it's just family and whatever. We're going to get there. And then, what else have we been doing? We've been doing weekly checkups and follow-up. And I talk to a lot of my clients. I talk to almost every day in the beginning. My dad, I've definitely been talking to every day, or if not 6 days a week. And the reinforcement, the encouragement. And what I'm seeing is, as we talk more and more, he's learning new ways of thinking and believing. But the brain tap helps the subconscious programming and the crap that's in the cells leave. So it's really, really important. If you have a symptom you're struggling with, comment the symptom or just something about your body below, and then I can talk about the different programming that might go into that. Or just stuck energy, right? There's so much misinformation and trauma and energy that we're harboring in our cells. And then we're dealing with that because we still have some energy there. Okay. I think I mostly talked on what we've been doing. The diet has been the number one thing. I mean, he's like celery juice every morning, lots of fruit, completely gluten, dairy, egg free. His colitis, he's had ulcerative colitis since I can remember. And he's like, it's not there anymore. And he can't believe it. So, and we've been doing monthly or bi-monthly vitamin infusions. We go to a place by my house. So, okay. If you have any questions on Parkinson's, dementia, helping family heal, we can continue to talk. I'm going to go over some of the responses coming in. So eczema. Okay. So eczema at its core is there's die-off. It's not hormonal, right? There's so many practitioners, or depending on the functional medicine line of thought, they'll tell you, it's your progesterone or your cortisol and these hormone imbalances. They're not wrong. I've noticed a lot of functional medicine practitioners are missing the entire picture. Hormones are always secondary to the immune system. So if your hormones are dysfunctioning, then there's an immune system imbalance. So for eczema, I have a pathogen in the body, we have heavy metals, we have mitochondrial toxicity, and this byproduct that's stored in our cells is coming out through the skin. So our heart, our kidneys, and our lungs and our liver, they want to be protected. So when we have these metals and these toxicities in the body, eczema is simply those coming out because the detox pathways are overwhelmed. They're burdened, and it's typically when our lymphatic system's burdened by our diet and our toxicity load, and it comes out the skin. So I had eczema here to here on my healing journey. You can go to my website and look at the pictures on my story. I mean, people were like, were you in a fire? What was going on? And I had been keto. That's why I'm so against it, because I've seen the damage that it's done on a healing journey with lots and lots of supplements, fear-based functional medicine. You need this supplement, you need this pill to heal. It's going to save you, all these things. And my detox pathways were not open, started coming out of the skin. Also with eczema, there's a programming that if it's coming and going, there's usually a programming in the person that what they're doing won't work. Because eczema will always, always go away. Eczema is one thing that you can absolutely heal no matter when, no matter what. Obviously, type 1 diabetes with my dad, we can sure improve his insulin sensitivity, which we're doing. But if eczema is coming, going, there's a programming that in you that it's like, and I can see it a little bit. It's like there's a little bit of like still an acquired taste for the old world. Like you see this new world, you see this new way of healing, but part of you wants the old and wants still like yummy, tasty. I want this other thing, but you see the way, but your cells are like, no, I want this. So just give it time and continue the inner work. And pretty soon you feel like, usually with eczema, you feel this push-pull in between worlds. Okay, you're saying accurate. Yeah. But when you get pulled to the side that's helping you heal, you'll stay there eventually. It's frequency. Okay. Anxiety is trapped trauma, trapped emotions in the body that we haven't felt. So we will do the healing at the end of this, and we'll release some of that anxiety. We're all going to focus on one symptom and find out what the programming is behind that. And holy cow, there's a lot of emotion coming in. Okay, so hang tight. We're going to do a healing. And if you're just jumping on, hang tight. This is really important. There's a lot behind this today. I can feel it. Okay, so for anxiety, trapped trauma, trapped emotion, in short, the nervous system, it's like a circuit board. And when, say, there was a trauma or abuse or an event that was just really overwhelming, and whatever age, doesn't matter, but younger kiddos have more tender nervous systems. So the nervous system is like a circuit board, and the body's always trying to protect you, right? So the brain is like the circuit, and it'll flip, the breaker blows, and that trauma is stored in the body. So anxiety is that never felt trauma, never processed emotion, never, you could say, dealt with, but if you care about healing, you're trying to deal with it. The subconscious is storing what's in the body, and anxiety is when that energy comes up, you feel it, and you go, oh, heck no, and you shove it back down. So anxiety, we're a pipe, right? Anxiety, emotion, energy is water. We just have to let the pipe. We have to let the water come out. We're going to get wet. We're going to get our hair messed up. Our makeup's going to be smeared. It's going to be a hot mess. We're going to cry. But just let it up and out, and we'll do that in the healing, and you will feel so much better. There's never a time in anxiety that if you look at it and you confront it head on and you work with it, that it doesn't lessen and then eventually heal. Okay. Burning on fire pain, 1 foot ankle started in big toe. Okay, so, and you might type out, I think I remember what we're dealing with. So burning, pain is inflammation. Something is inflaming the tissues. And with inflammation, we don't get to say in our body what our body needs. So sometimes in our healing journey, we say, well, body, I've sure given you enough. And my dad's going through this. He's like, I'm doing all this, and I'm still like, he had a kind of a treat the other day, and then his blood sugars were all over the place, and then he hasn't had soda in weeks, and then he had some, and now we have this big, my dad and I had a chat this weekend. Healing is 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And inflammation, there's something in there. So he had inflammation expressing, right? Sometimes I forget where I'm going when I'm talking, but that's something that my brain, the way it's wired, isn't always helpful, but bear with me, I'm going to go back. So he's dealing with inflammation in his tissues. There's something when it's pain, when it's inflammation, something in the tissues inflaming the body that shouldn't be there, and we don't get to decide. See, I found my way back there. We don't get to decide what our healing journey looks like. We don't get to decide, well, for my body to heal, I just need to do these 3 things. No, the body gets to decide. So if you're dealing with inflammation and pain and redness and swelling and discomfort, ask your body in this healing that we're going to start, what do you need? Your body will tell you with love, with tenderness, with compassion. Your body will never stay mad at you. And then the ego mind will say, oh, I don't want to do that. This is what it's going to take away from me. And then we can surrender. And then we'll go give our body what we need, and then we'll feel better. And we'll be like, why didn't I just do that? And it's because of the ego mind. The ego wants to keep us safe, right? The ego wants to tell us what we'll miss out on, what will be lacking if we commit to the healing. But that's never the case once we can get past the ego mind. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, anxiety, it's nicknamed the suicide disease, not anxiety, but this person's talking about the chronic inflammatory conditions. When I was talking to my dad about this, his CRP is 9. It should be less than 1. Okay, so 9 times the inflammation in the body. You would have a lab value, whether it's a CRP, a SED rate, an ANA, a white blood cell count, a TPO. You would have something in the body that's reflecting this level of inflammation. And when you have chronic illness, chronic pain, anxiety, depression, physical, whatever it is, you feel like a prisoner in your own body, because your soul has chose to be in a body, but yet we think, again, this is the programming, we think, okay, I'm dealing with this pain, I just have this sentence, this is just how it has to be, something's wrong with my body. That's the programming. The truth is that symptom is your blessing trying to get you in alignment, right? So I would not ever live my life the way I do now if it wasn't for my autoimmune disease. If I didn't live my life the way I do now with my healing practices and energy and food and yoga and writing, I would not be in alignment. I would not be doing this work that I love that doesn't ever feel like work, right? So your symptoms are your biggest blessing, and so anxiety, it's saying, hey, hello. It's like shooting up, right? And it's trying to get your attention. Anxiety is just saying, I need you to clear this emotion, because once you clear that emotion, that's heavy frequency leaving the body, and your frequency, like literally the vibrations of your cells under a microscope are going to elevate. And you're going to be the person that you crave to be. You're like, oh, I just want to be like this. That's your potential. You wouldn't care about being, this rock star mama, or someone who can get out of bed, or someone who can write books, or someone who can public speak, or someone who can play sports again, whatever it is, someone who can start their own business. You wouldn't have that dream if it wasn't your potential, and your symptoms are your messenger being like, this dream is yours. This what you want to be in your life is you. Your symptoms are the thing telling you how to get there. They're showing you the blockages. They're showing you what's in the way. Your symptoms are your blessing. And once you grab hold of that and take that and integrate it and heal it and work with it, you're going to be healed. You're going to be free, and you're going to reach that person, that vision for yourself that you have. I promise. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. So again, the nickname, the suicide disease, I encourage you, please hear my heart saying this with compassion to you, if you feel like a victim to that nickname of that disease, just notice it. There's no judgment around it. Say, okay, because we all have something in our life that we feel like a victim to. I have moves I want to make with my work, and I'm like, but I got to do this. And I'm like, oh, okay, I feel like a victim there, right? So notice if in like that nickname, the suicide disease, if you feel like that's a sentence, if you feel like that's a prognosis, if you feel like that's something that you have no control over, that this is what you've been given, flip that. Say, okay, body, how are you trying to get me in alignment? And at the end of the day, this healing is never easy. Do I want to always eat the foods I eat? Do I always want to do my energy healing? Do I always want to open up my crown and allow myself to see things from an elevated spiritual perspective? No. I want to be a freaking human a lot of times, and I let myself, and then it's time to heal. So, and on that, it is time to heal. Okay. So come into your space, and anyone who needs a little bit of one-on-one help, I'll take one or two requests to join at the end. So go ahead and put your request in if you think there's something that you want a little help with. We'll definitely do one person. And just know that request is in, that you can receive what you came to receive tonight. Start to connect with your breath. This will be quick. This will be easy. It doesn't take a marathon. It just takes a millisecond to heal. Deep breath in. Roll your shoulders up towards your ears. As you exhale, take your shoulder blades down your back. Flip your palms open in your lap. Just receive metta, receive energy, receive peace. Feel God's energy start to fill your body. Allow your breath to become audible. Think about breathing in the Holy Spirit. Exhale, sighing out. Density, tension, any nervousness. You might feel nervous about this healing. You can pick up on that in a group. It's okay. Just tell yourself this is one healing of many. And you're experimenting, you're observing, you're becoming a co-creator with your body. Deep belly breath in, breathe all the way to the top. Exhale, audible sigh out. Do that one more time. Feel how good this feels. Deep belly breath in. Fill all the way up. Exhale, sigh. Collapse your shoulders. Collapse your hips. Collapse your feet. Let everything fall to the surface. Let your body lay limp. And then if we've been working with a symptom, talking about what you commented, go ahead and bring up the anxiety, the eczema, or if you're not sure, ask your body to show you where in your body it's calling for your attention. A symptom, an area that doesn't feel very relaxed. Just do a gentle body scan, start at the top of your head. Imagine illuminating light tracing over your body. If you're a visual, intuitive, you can be scanning your body for this light, looking for an area that lights up. If you're a feeling intuitive, just listen to where your body lights up a little bit at you. If you're a knowing, you'll just know. You'll know where this is at. Maybe you hear it. Just find that one area. Take a hand there, or a hand near if it's way in a part of your body that you can't reach. Just send your hand in that direction to connect. I'm going to bring my left hand to my heart, right hand to belly. It's a great way to tap in, even if you're not sure. So connecting with this part of your body, take another deep belly breath in. Exhale, release. Body, what do you need me to see? Body, what do you need me to know? There will be layers of trauma, programming, of mistrust. Allow yourself to see it, to know it, to feel it all. Your body is your own practitioner, your own doctor. Just like that first step we talked about, helping you make sense of it. Be open. After this, you're going to get little downloads, little blips of information that helps you understand what your body's been through. Another breath. One more deep belly breath in. Exhale. Body, what do you need from me? After he or she has helped you make sense, okay, showing you the diagnostic. Now trust what you're hearing, trust what you're feeling, trust what you know, and your body is going to show you, tell you, or you will just know what it is the body needs right now. Just listening with an open heart and open mind. Stay here as long as you need, receiving from the body. Bring your hands back in your lap to receive metta, to receive energy. Feel this energy, this divine stream of the same consciousness that created the body will heal the body. Take it where in your body it needs to go. Notice the work is not all up to you on this healing journey. There's divine source willing to guide us, willing to show us the way, help us, point us in the right direction for the information that will serve us best, for the healing therapies and modalities. Imagine your body is like a magnet, and you'll just feel your body pull you in that direction. when you come across or in contact with something that your body needs. So take what you've received tonight from your body and then turn on this magnet. Imagine just flipping a switch in your heart. And when you hear, read, come in contact with something that will serve your body, just listen for her little jolts, her little pull. It'll be so subtle, just like a tiny, tiny little girl pulling on your pant leg in a whisper. And being present to hear that. So take a deep breath in, sweep your arms up overhead, stretch up. Exhale, bring your hands back down. You can sit up. You can come back, roll your shoulders around. I'd love to hear what you all felt, what you received, what you heard from your body. If you need some one-on-one help or guidance, go ahead and just request to join. Let's see here. Tell me what you've experienced and trust what's come up tonight. So I was actually doing a little bit of, didn't plan to guide you all, but as I was guiding you all, I was getting some information from my dad. And you know what's been really interesting is that until it was divine timing, that really hasn't come in. But when I was talking about the layers of trauma and programming and misinformation and disease, that was a lot what I was seeing in his body. And I had my own energy healing session. I think this is what I'll end with. And in my energy healing session, I was seeing his brain. And before the CT scan, I could see where the atrophy was in his brain. And what I saw was the same thing on the scan. And what I was seeing in my session from the spirit was there's trauma and there's density and there's energy around this part of the brain that is creating inflammation and creating, atrophy in the brain. And the scan showing that same thing. So one thing that we're working on together is helping him understand, and through the energy healing and through the brain tap, and we're actually going to do some yoga and energy healing coming up, and I think that will be a good bridge for him. But we're talking about how, what is in the brain, and is your diagnosis your prognosis? So yeah. Okay, go ahead and hit request to join. I'll bring you on. We'll do just one more. I would love that. And then we'll close. So if you are new to this community, go ahead and stay tuned. This is really cool. This is a community effort. So I'll use my intuition to help guide our friend, and then and what's going on in their body and their healing. And then everyone feel free, when I bring someone on, you're going to receive things in your body, and go ahead and put it in the comments. So let's see. Rafi, do you know how to request to join? Let me see here if I can. I don't know if I can send you a request. Oh, how do you request? Okay. So bottom of the screen, you should see, I think, help me out guys if this isn't it. You should see a camera and it has like a little plus, or you might have to hit in the comments. Let me see. Okay, I don't know what it always looks like. Oh, invite to join. I think this is how I can do it. Let me see here. RL. I always forget how to spell your. Oh, I see you. Okay. Plus sign. Thanks, Emma. You're the best.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I see you. Very fun.
I'm wearing my bathrobe. I'm very relaxed.
Perfect. I love it. One of my favorite gals that I follow, that she goes live a lot, the other night she came on with her, like out of the shower, her head towel wrapped, and I was like, authenticity for the win. So yeah, what's going on? Tell me about, were you here for the healing tonight?
Yeah, I was. And I heard this like message that I hear very often, which is like needing to love, or I think it's like love myself. And so I guess what I was curious about is like more guidance around how to do that, because I get that message all the time and then I don't really know how to approach that. And yeah, I
Mhm.
just have felt very lost about that.
Mhm. So imagine your heart right now, if it had a face. Actually, see, imagine a little girl's face, your little girl in your heart, and just see her face here, and imagine the expression on her face.
I see the comment that says, I'm hearing
Yeah.
it. Child healing, showing her some love.
Um,
That's what I was seeing as well. And there was like a just sadness on her
yeah.
face.
Okay. Go ahead. If you feel comfortable, close down your eyes,
Yeah.
and I'll do it too. So we'll be doing the same thing. And just imagine her face. Bring left hand to your heart, right hand to your belly. It's just two centers of intuition that you can tap in with. And then you can give us as much or as little that you want to share. So when just in any energy healing session, articulate what feels comfortable to you. And just ask her why she's sad.
There's this feeling of loneliness.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like she's not good enough.
Yeah. Ask her when she feels that way the most.
When she's hurting, like,
Mm-hmm.
or it could be totally unrelated, but whenever she's just like feeling upset, that's what she goes to.
Yeah. I'm going to talk to this little girl, and I'm going to ask her some questions and just let her respond with no judgment or any interference, the best that you can from your mind or yourself. And your mind will want to protect you, right? So
Mm-hmm.
just let this little girl imagine holding like a microphone up to her. Sometimes that helps.
Okay.
And then so she's telling us she feels sad and alone. We're just going to observe her for a second. I'm going to wait for the questions to come in. So I'll tell you the energy that I'm seeing, and then maybe you will watch for her nodding or her yes or no. She feels really young, maybe not old enough to answer questions, but use so you can help us with this. So does it feel like there's requirements she has to meet to go and fulfill her heart's desires? So before she can go and receive love or receive company or receive whatever it is she wants, there's some requirements that she has to have checked off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like chores or like homework or and then so imagine you as her big sister, her loving big sister who only wants the best for her. And then this little girl, we're still asking her for the answers, and just ask her if there's anything her loving big sister who only wants the best for her prevents her from being able to do, or anything she feels like she has to do before she can go be in love, go play in love, go receive love. See what she says.
Improving herself and making other people happy.
Mm. And if there's one thing that she wants to do to receive love and to receive the company of others or whatever doesn't make her feel alone, what does she tell you it is?
Can you repeat the question? I was
Yeah,
not listening.
no, you're okay. If there's one thing that this little girl that you're seeing that she wants to not feel lonely, she wants something. There's one thing that we could just let her do or give her to allow her to feel love. What would it be?
Acceptance.
Acceptance. And then what is the one thing that big sister does that prevents her from feeling this acceptance, or judges or thinks?
That she's not good enough. That like there
Mm-hmm.
needs to be more.
Yeah. Take a deep breath in, and then allow your mind to just flood. You don't have to say this out loud. You can if you want, but just allow your being to flood with images. She's just going to show you exactly. You're going to see your life play out in front of you of just some things that you unknowingly, patterns, beliefs, programming in you that's prevented this little girl from her love. And then those of us that are here, if you have any comments you want to drop in, anything you're seeing or feeling to share with our friend. And then everything that you're seeing, whatever is coming in, is just like your little instruction booklet of healing. The writings on the wall. This is all coming in to show you, hey, here are the things that we're going to bring awareness to. And when we stop making this little girl prove herself or be good enough, we release that programming, love, and not feeling lonely anymore can come right in. You feel that? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. It definitely makes sense. There's just a lot of energy like coming in as well.
Oh, there is. My body started to shake.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, wow. Yeah, that was really powerful. It's just funny, the comment in the beginning that was like, oh, inner child healing, because that was like, I guess, the missing piece that I think I was looking for. And then everything you asked after that just totally opened me up more to it.
And it's so energy healing, meditation, it's so important to do our own energy healing every day, but to work with someone or just come on these lives, it's my heart's intention to do these, because when our emotion is around it, we just need someone else to kind of give us this.
Yeah.
And this community is awesome. People just care. So Emma, she's been working with her newly found gifts, so that will mean a lot to her, that what she was able to share.
Oh, great. Yeah, I'm so glad.
Yes.
I'm so glad.
Well, keep me posted. Let me know if there's anything. You can send me a message. If there's anything we can help with, and we'll be here every Sunday. So again, I know somebody else, she requested to join, and I think it went away. She had to put her kiddo to bed. But this community is here for us and to develop our gifts, to understand our bodies, to heal, and you can come on as much as you want. Next week, I'm going to talk about, I'm working on a blog post about it, but how my intuition got me engaged. So I'm going to, I think a lot of those of us who are connected on social know, but there was an amazing teaching about intuition and how we can use it. I'm really excited. It's just been a message coming through. So we'll work with that next week. And then I would love for you to come back now for Receiving is Healing. And you can offer to others, because if you're attracted to, if you come on a Sunday night to an energy healing live, you got some gifts. Like every single person, Jeff, I see you, Jeff. I'll have Jeff's gonna come on with me next week too, and then we'll both share the story, because his point of view is pretty funny. But yeah, our intuition, our bodies knowing, is the most powerful thing about us.
Yeah, this was wonderful. Thank you, and thank you to everyone that had joined.
Yes, such a great group. Well, have a good Sunday night, everyone. I will see you next week, same time, same place.
Thank you.
Bye.